Death Valley was silent. The air, thick with the metallic scent of blood, clung to the four figures standing amidst the carnage. The sky above remained a horrifying spectacle, a bleeding canvas of scarlet and crimson. Lakshay, his hand still gripping his ancestral sword, stared at the sky. His face, usually bright with a playful grin, was drawn and pale. Beside him stood Devanshu, the stoic warrior, his eyes reflecting the unsettling red glow. Anubhav, the firebrand of the group, stood with an uncharacteristic stillness. Completing their circle was Gautam, the scholar, his face etched with a fear that no ancient text could have prepared him for. They had won this battle, but at a terrible cost. Their comrades lay scattered across the scorched earth, victims of a war they never chose. A low hum, barely audible at first, began to rise from the depths of the earth. It vibrated through their bones, an unsettling tremor that spoke of ancient power stirring. The ground beneath their feet started to crack, spiderweb fissures spreading out from a central point. The air grew heavy, charged with an energy that made their hair stand on end. The seal, Devanshu breathed, his voice tight with apprehension. They all knew what it meant. The barrier, weakened by the recent battle, was failing. The very thing they had given their lives to prevent was about to come to pass. The cracks in the earth widened, the hum growing into a deafening roar. From the chasm, a sickly green light erupted, painting the red sky with grotesque strokes of emerald fire. The air crackled and popped, the stench of sulfur replacing the metallic tang of blood. A jagged tear, a wound in the fabric of reality itself, was ripped open in the valley floor. The cursed portal was back. "We knew this would happen," Anubhav said, his voice shaking slightly as he hefted his warhammer. His fear was a fleeting thing, quickly replaced by the familiar heat of battle lust. "We hold the line here, for as long as we have to." But even as he spoke, the valley floor began to shift and buckle. The ground split open around them, revealing a vast underground temple, its entrance flanked by 8 towering gates, each one etched with ancient symbols that pulsed with an inner light. These were the elemental gates, the last lock on the prison of the demon realm. "The prophecy," Gautam gasped, his voice barely a whisper. "The true battle lies within." He pointed to the gates. "Each one represents an element, a trial that must be overcome to seal the portal." They couldn't just hold the line, they had to split up, each facing their own personal demons, both figurative and literal, to seal the 8 gates. The friends exchanged grim nods, their unspoken words hanging heavy in the air. They knew the risks, knew that this might be their final stand, but they also knew their duty. With a shared breath, they charged into the heart of the temple, each drawn to a different gate. Devanshu, plagued by guilt over past mistakes, found himself at the gate of self-forgiveness. He battled not monstrous creatures, but spectral manifestations of his past failures. Only by confronting his demons and forgiving himself could he hope to seal the gate. Anubhav, his fiery nature tested at the gate of fire, found himself face to face with a spirit of pure flame. He had to tame the fire, not with brute force, but with respect and understanding. Gautam, at the gate of air, found his intellect pushed to its limits. He had to decipher ancient riddles and solve complex puzzles, all while under attack by creatures of pure thought and energy. His task, to create a dome of protective energy around the temple, buying his friends precious time. Lakshay, drawn to the gate of spirit, found himself reliving the opening of the book, the very prophecy that had set them on this path. One by one, the gates began to glow, signaling their sealing. A tense silence fell over the temple as the friends reconvened at the center, battered, bruised, but alive. The portal, however, still raged, its green fire burning brighter than ever. In the center of the temple, a single stone pedestal rose from the ground. Upon it, a heart-shaped stone pulsed with an ominous light. This was it, the final seal. But as Lakshay reached for it, a voice boomed through the chamber, the voice of the Demon King, echoing with power and malice. "Foolish mortals, you have delayed the inevitable." The heartstone pulsed faster, its light turning from a sickly green to a blinding white. The ground shook violently, the ceiling of the temple cracking and groaning. They were out of time. Without hesitation, Lakshay drew his sword and plunged it into the heart of the stone. A blinding flash of white light engulfed the chamber. Then, silence. When they could see again, they found themselves in a white void, a mirror dimension. Before them stood their reflections, but these reflections spoke, their voices filled with urgency and warning. The portal is sealed, Lakshay's reflection said, but the danger is far from over. As the reflections faded, a throne materialized in the center of the white void, a throne of bone and shadow, pulsing with malevolent energy.
मैं भी कर खेला
अच्छा
था
ये
तब बनते
बताओ कि
चलते
स्कूल में नोबिता की परफॉर्मेंस कैसी है?
हाँ ये मैं कर रखी है
बहुत बुरी है।
कर रखी है।